Continue with reaction to the Phala Independent Panel's findings. Let's speak to political analyst Andile Swana now, who speaks to us virtually. Mr. Swana, thank you very much for your time. Now, of course, I'm talking about this in a general manager or a general form, rather. I know that there's rules and regulations, there's a constitution, etc. But we're talking about a President Cyril Ramaphosa who said that he is using principle when he, suspended Public Protector Busisiwe Mkhwebane and said that he suspended her so that she steps aside while an impeachment inquiry against her happens in Parliament. So how would he explain himself then if he doesn't do the same once an impeachment does go ahead?
It will be very difficult for him to explain himself if he does not step aside, other than to simply bully Parliament and to try and bully the public, the voting public of South Africa, that there is some benefit in him staying in the position. And when you read the report that has been issued at this point in time, it is clear that he has not been able to provide full details, even those details that were within easy reach of himself. So he is not fully cooperating with the inquiry as things stand anyway.
And of course, a lot of people asking about the step-aside resolution of the ANC and, the explanation there from the national spokesperson, Pule Mabe, that the step-aside rule is clear on people stepping aside once they have, criminal charges that have been leveled against them. So maybe it's still a bit soon to look at it in terms of the ANC's policies.
Well, the problem with that statement, if you look at it differently, look at this process and look at Mabe's statement. This process determines whether there is a case to answer. And one of the cases to answer is in terms of the Prevention and Combating of Corrupt Activities Act, which is a criminal act.
Yes. Yeah. So
a person who is charged because they have a case to answer. So the only difference is that the forum is different. They only want criminal cases that come out of the NPA and so on, not the fact that a credible institution of the state has identified that you have a criminal case to answer. And I'm not saying the criminal case is the only thing that he has to answer. There are other two more. But yes, it does also have a criminal case to answer. So Mabe's statement is not entirely complete nor accurate, neither is it helpful.
And of course, a lot of this is going to be about the way forward, right? What do you think of the president saying that he is cancelling his appearance in front of the national, the NCOP, and the fact that there's been all these things that were supposed to happen today that have been postponed to a later stage? A good idea, obviously, because of these damning findings. I mean, by tomorrow, we might have a whole new political reality in this country.
Yes, I think the president is under extraordinary pressure, and he has got to meet the likes of Gwede Mantashe, the likes of Fikile Mbalula, and others who know how to fight this type of battle where an ANC president is truly being found to be outside of the law, having acted outside of the law. They've done it very well for Zuma over the years. And I think the president is expecting them to do something to try and rescue him, except that the opposition parties and some members of his own parties are paying for his blood at this point in time.
Just lastly, I know the team is going to be very upset with me, but a lot has been happening with the ANC in the past few hours. Now finding out, for instance, Mr. Swana, that the ANC in the Free State has once again postponed its elective conference. People saying that this, this collapse of his presidency, that is President Cyril Ramaphosa, of course, shows that there is another faction in the ANC that basically is winning this time around. There's going to be obviously elections coming from the floor during the elective conference. I wonder what you think about the Free State, postponing yet again when we have, about 15 days left to Nasrec?
Well, what I said about the Free State is that Cyril Ramaphosa got a lot of votes from the Free State at a time when others were being disqualified. My question was, how much honesty has gone into the process of compiling the votes from the Free State, especially those that pertain to Cyril Ramaphosa? So, secondly, the votes that Cyril Ramaphosa has got across the country, they mean nothing as to who is going to be the president of the country, the president of the ANC by the end of December.
Okay, Mr. Swana, okay, they're going to be very, very upset with me, so I'm going to ask you to be a little bit short. The DA, John Steenhuisen, today having a press briefing in reaction to this, saying that they're calling for an early election. Is it necessary to go that far?
I think it is necessary to go even that far because we've lived under the crisis and under corruption and non-performance for far too long. Cyril has been the DA's darling. They protected him from when they said all the cabinet must resign. They wanted to dissolve the cabinet and protected him. So they delayed the removal of President Ramaphosa. In any case, if they remove him now, if he is removed him now, a new cabinet has got to be there. An early election is not out of place in my